Congratulations to this year's Eurovision Song Contest winner JJ with Wasted Love. What a great song! But what makes this production so exceptional? One part stands out in particular. Let's take a listen. Quite a lot happening here. To show you exactly what's going on, I created a little example using virtual instruments to highlight two certain aspects of this production which are very outstanding. First of all, the recombination of classical elements together with electronic drums, and secondly, this significant vocal effect by the climax of the song. Let's dive right into this. So here we go with the rough and short arrangement, which will be serving as an example for this kind of production. It basically consists out of two main elements. First of all, it's the orchestra, containing orchestral percussion, bass strings, later on horns and choir towards the end. Of course, in the back final, we meet the electronic drums that mark the huge impact and the climax of the song. It has a kick, a clap, as well as hi-hats and some added percussion and pads. First of all, let's listen to the instrumental. Both of these main sections have their, let's say, significant sound characteristics and of course functions. So while the orchestra section is wide, rich of details, deep, spacious, we have the electronic section, which is more precise, tight into the face and dedicated to the rhythm by the end of the song towards the big final. So here we have to talk about one certain aspect which makes sure that the mix is working in the end. It is the bass management. Since the orchestral percussion and the bass strings did the job until the beat sets in at the end of the song, we have to make sure that you can mix it. In this case, we want to avoid sidechaining because a pumping orchestra wouldn't really sound nice by the end and would steal some whiteness and richness from the production. So let's take a look on the analyzer how these both sections work with each other. So let's take a look onto the orchestra percussion and the bass strings first. As we can see, the low frequencies are quite dynamic. And when it comes down to phase correlation, we have much stereo activity going underneath 500 Hz. We can see some of the bass string tones around 70 Hz, around up above 100 Hz. But let's now check the electronic beats and the percussion. So the lower frequencies are much more impactful and wider in spectrum. They sound quite round and they have no significant stereo activity down in the lower frequencies. So let's check out both sections working together. Orchestral percussion, bass strings, beat and percussion. This works quite well. By the way, if you're interested in learning more about mix, mastering and production in general, check out our courses at HOFA-College.com. Let's talk about another very important topic, which of course is the outstanding and amazing vocal performance of JJ. More than that, towards the end of the song, by the climax, his lead vocal turns into a kind of effect, a rhythmical effect, so to say. So his consistent tone is divided into 16th notes. You can do that by filter, stutter, or gate. In our case, in our example, we use a synthesizer instead of the voice. So this HOFA system plugin automates the gain by modulation into 16th notes, as you can see here. Next up, we use another one of those to have the pumping 4th notes effect, crowned by a little reverb. Let's check it out with the whole track and the automation. Of course, in the original, this effect sets in very, very quickly, but we show a slight transition. And another main voice comes in. Great. So congratulations to JJ and his producer team. Excellent work on this one. Tell me in the comments if you have any more questions about this or if you have any more aspects that are important to you. And see you next time.